Hello everyone, this is day 2 of the lockdown in Britain, and I sincerely hope that you're all keeping well and healthy out there. As you can see, I'm moored up in a rather lovely place, just underneath Beeston Castle on the Shropshire Union Main Line, and I was in Cheshire yesterday morning, got all my shopping and decided to hightail it out into the country, just because I prefer being in the country, not because of anything else necessarily, but so here I am in this rather lovely spot, and I'm very grateful for it. There's a lot worse places to be, that's for sure. When the country went into lockdown, I was having an extremely enjoyable evening in Chester, which, by the way, is a really beautiful city, and I'm quite keen to return there when things return to normal. Well, as normal as things will ever be again. So anyway, the following morning I checked the CRT website, which said that the canals and the towpaths were still open. 10 miles and 5 locks later, I was back underneath the beautiful Beeston Castle, by which time the CRT had rescinded their earlier advice and basically closed the canals. They said that we could only use the canals for essential journeys, such as accessing food or medicine, topping up with water, getting a pump out, emergency repairs, etc, etc. So, yeah, there you go. Basically, we are now uncontinuous cruisers. Lockdown diary, day 2. Well, I did have a nice day yesterday, chopping up lots of wood, but last night I ran out of water, which kind of surprised me because I only filled up 6 days ago, and I can often go 12 days without filling up. So that means I've managed to squeeze enough out for a cup of tea though. That means that I'm going to have to go down to the winding hole down there, turn around and head back up that way to Tattenhall Marina, and fill up with water and maybe get some more coal. I'm hoping it's the water. I mean, you know, it could be that the water pump's gone dodgy, so either way, I'll have to go to Tattenhall Marina. I do know that Emma, the Narrowboat girl, and her mum are there, because they passed me yesterday. In fact, about 6 days ago when I was coming up this way, they actually helped me through Iron Lock, which was brilliant. So thanks very much to them. It is a fabulous day for cruising, it really is. Just what a shame about this lockdown business. But can't be helped, I guess. There we go. Just beautiful.
Got a full tank of water, some coal. Time to bolt it back to Beeston.
Way down Willie, got a cool little chick named Rockin' Lily. She walked.
Yep, enough of that. If you get the chance, have a walk up to the top of Beeston Crag, or better still, Peckforton, the next hill along. The views are stunning. Liverpool and the Mersey entering the North Sea, the Welsh mountains to the west, and the Peak Districts to the east. Fantastic.
Well, as much as I've loved being in this beautiful mooring underneath Beeston Castle, I'm sadly really going to have to move on now because I need to go to a fairly major supermarket to stock up on a few things. Now this means going to, well, either to Chester or Nantwich, and I think Nantwich is probably the best option. So I think that's about 11 miles from here, so I'm going to have a wee cruise today. I'm wearing gloves so that I can not touch any of the locks. I also have on deck some antibacterial spray and hand gel, which fortunately I had before this whole crisis started. So, onwards and upwards, let's get going.
Beeston Iron Lock was designed by Thomas Telford. It superseded the original stone lock, which leaks a lot of water because of the shifting sands which are underneath it. The iron lock weighs 1/10 of the previous stone structure. There isn't a lock ladder in the iron lock, which causes problems for solo boaters like me. It's too deep for me to stand on the roof and actually climb out of the lock. So I had no option but to bow haul my boat into the lock. And actually, pulling a 15-ton boat isn't as tricky as you might imagine. The difficult bit was passing the rope underneath the lock bridge. Once in, I loosely tied the bowline to a bollard. The lock is now distorted so that two boats can't actually go through the lock at the same time. It is advised that you add water very, very slowly to the lock. Obviously I've speeded this clip up, which does make the bouncing around in the lock seem an awful lot more violent than it actually was. And I'm still adding water very, very slowly. boat can just ride up the gate boards. There may be a lockdown on, but gongoozlers are still about. Another 3 cyclists joined this guy to watch me go through the lock. Now, staircase locks are effectively locks that have been joined together without a stretch of water or a pound in between the two of them. They can be in flights of 2, 3, 4 or even 5, or, in the case of Cane Hill lock flight, 29. This one just happens to be 2. Before ascending, I needed to make sure that the bottom chamber was empty and the top chamber was full, and that all the paddles were shut. When everything was set, I opened the paddles between the top chamber and the lower chamber to empty the top chamber of water. When the top chamber had emptied into the bottom chamber and the water was equalised, I could open the gate and enter the top chamber. As luck would have it, when I entered the top chamber, another boat had arrived, and so the man very kindly helps me through.
Brilliant, thanks a lot, no worries.
I'm moored overnight just east of the staircase locks at Bunbury, and it's another 6.5 miles to Nantwich, so yes, I'm off there today to get some shopping. I'm not really looking forward to being in a town or being in a supermarket, to be honest, but needs must, I suppose. Along the way I also need to sort out my rubbish at Calverley, and also there's a water point there, so I need to top up with water. Yeah, I guess I'd better crack on with the day.
There's never a good time to be homeless, but I guess this is an awful lot better than sleeping on the streets at the moment. Barbage Junction. The Middlewich branch joins the Shroppie to the Trent and Mersey at Middlewich. And a little bit further down, Hurlston Reservoir overlooks the canal. And Hurlston Junction, which takes you on to the Llangollen, which is where I would be at the moment had it not been for the lockdown. Approaching Nantwich now. Nantwich Base, which takes you down to Nantwich Canal Centre. And there's a water point immediately behind this bridge on the right hand side.
Well, I've made it into a very deserted Nantwich to go and get some shopping. This is about 9 miles from Beeston Castle, where I was moored a couple of days ago. So yes, I've come in to get my food, as I say. I was cruising along the canal this morning, and I came across a couple who I've met a few times before. They were moored about 2.5 miles north of the town, you know. They were coming back with large backpacks, and I said, oh, you know, I'm going to get some food. And a guy, you know, he was a bit of a self-righteous arsehole, to be honest, started saying to me, well, you know, we're taking the advice, we're staying put, we're not moving. And I thought, you know, just get a life, man, because, you know, he's the one who's breaking the rules, actually. He's the one who's breaking the rules by walking past lots of moored boats to go and get his shopping. So, well, that wasn't too bad an experience after all. Only had to queue about 5 minutes to get into the shop, and let's face it, one thing the British are very good at is queuing. And everyone respected the social distancing within the supermarket as much as you could. But yeah, what a weird experience. God knows how long this is all going to go on for. It's just very, very strange, isn't it? I have just started my last roll of toilet paper. Now, I don't understand this because every time I've been into a shop during the last month, the shelves have been completely devoid of this stuff. You just can't get it for love nor money. Okay? Now, why are people stockpiling loo roll? It doesn't make sense. What? You think every time you cough you're going to have a shit? It doesn't happen. It just doesn't happen, okay? Is it just the British doing this? Now, I actually have a vague idea the Australians might be as well, from what I've heard. Are there any other countries around the world that are stockpiling loo roll? I don't know. It's bizarre. It's crazy.
Now this cheeky lady must be the friendliest duck on the network. She kept coming onto my boat all the time. She'd come within about 6 or 9 inches. Had no fear whatsoever. Now, I don't normally feed ducks or swans, but for the sheer cheek of it, I thought she deserved some oats. If you've enjoyed this video, please click the like button. The more likes I get, the more YouTube will promote my channel.